Okay. I got it.
All
So I
right.
take my pants off now, or
Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, one of my favorite album names of all time by Blink-182.
right?
Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Recorded live from Studio 12A in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. You're listening to the Josh and Friends Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the Josh and Friends Podcast. I am your host. My name is Josh. And this week, I have a very special guest joining the program. I first met this guy back in elementary school in the 80s. And he was a fellow athlete who ran like Barry Sanders, a music fan who loved the band Journey, and one of the all-round nicest guys that I've ever known. Fast forward to 2023, and he's a father, a husband, and a longtime employee at UPS. So help me welcome to the show the one they call the Kipster and the Jackhammer. He is my old buddy, Mr. Brent Kipling. Woo! Brent Kipling! What's up, buddy?
Gosh, Matt. What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing awesome. Doing
Doing all right?
awesome, man. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Awesome. That's good to
you have
hear.
the kind of like have the palm tree thing going here. I like it.
Right. So I'm in Seattle, right? So it's known for being very, tropical and,
Yeah.
palm trees and
Yeah. So Brent, it's been quite a while since I've talked to. Well, I think it was like last year we got to talk, but not in depth. Not in depth.
no,
So-
of course not. Yeah. A little bit busy that time.
Yeah. Yeah. So
A lot going on. Right.
how are the kids?
They're great. They're great. They're getting older, man. I'm feeling old. I got a 15 and 12-year-old. So,
Wow. That's wild.
amazing
man.
to think of, right?
Yeah. That's
The same
crazy.
guy, the jackrabbit, right?
Yeah. That's wild. And how long have you and Robin been together now?
Robin and I have been together since, 96. So going on 27 years. Well, we just hit 27 years, actually.
Whoa. That's wild.
I started dating her a month after I started at UPS.
Wow, that's wild. We're definitely going to get into the UPS stuff here, but so we go way back. When
Right.
did I first meet you? Was it elementary?
Yeah, sixth grade, actually. I moved in late during the season or during the year. I think I started at Dick Scobie Elementary at maybe March or something like that. I
Okay.
finished the year with you guys. Yeah.
So where did you come from? Were you living somewhere else?
All over, actually. I lived with my mom at the time, and I had gone to 3 different schools that year, including Dick Scobie, but we were up in Federal Way before that.
Okay. So you're always
yeah.
kind of like in the area. It's not like you moved from a different
Yeah.
state or anything like that.
Nope,
Gotcha.
always local. Yep.
Gotcha. And did we both have the same teacher?
Yeah, Mr.
Mr.
Wills?
Wills?
Yeah, you, me, and Manny. Yep.
Manny, yeah, Manavong. Yes.
And I knew Manny because we lived in the same apartment complex, and then I think he introduced me to you. So
Yeah. I loved hanging out with all those guys because everybody was all about sports, man. Everyone's like, I mean,
Oh,
what
yeah.
else? What else can you do? You have a ball, and we weren't like little rich kids. We weren't
nope.
going to crazy vacations or going to the movies every day. So we if you have a basketball, everyone could participate. If you have a football, we're all game. We could all play, right? So
Right.
yeah, I love that, and yeah,
It was great.
and, I always talk about sports and especially football because we always would play those turkey bowls, but we'd always play the pickup games too, like almost every weekend, right?
Right. Yeah. Especially we played the basketball at we would go to Lakeview Elementary and we'd play like every
I love that.
Saturday or Sunday or
That
something
was
like
so
that.
fun. That was
Yeah,
so
it was.
yeah, that was awesome, man. I mean, I wasn't very good at basketball. I mean, I could occasionally hit a three and I could pass.
Yeah,
a
you were the
basketball.
outside shooter. I remember that. Yeah.
But that's about it. I mean, but it was just fun, like hanging out with everybody. Some
It
of those
was.
guys were really good at balling.
Right.
Harry Baldiff was all crazy and like fast and everything. I was like, whoa, that guy's way better than I am. But those football, like back in junior high, you were like one of the running backs, right?
Yeah.
And when we'd play the pickup games, I always had way more fun during those because we would play.
Right. Yeah. Not sit on the bench or yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was awesome because like you were always like the little Barry Sanders. You were a big fan. Everyone was a big fan of Barry Sanders back in the day, but you were like,
how can you not be?
You were like the Barry Sanders guy. You were like the big
Right.
Barry Sanders guy. So like,
Yep.
yeah, it was always fun, like throwing off a little dump pass to little Brent, and then boom, just going crazy. I wish there was more video of these times, but
oh man, we were talking the other day about to bring up some of the other Josh and friends. One of the greatest plays in Sandlot history was Lee Olson's block on Eric Goodman. One of my runs. Do you remember that?
Of course, it's burned into my head. It was like the craziest hit I've ever seen.
Right.
At least I could, one of these days, they're going to have the technology where you can like, watch a video that's playing in my head, and that video, hopefully they'll be able to, it might look like those old videos by this point in time because, it's kind of, fading a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, at least people will get to watch it now. Cause it was wild.
That was, and then of course Goodman just pops back up. Whoa, nice hit.
Yeah. He's like, dude, he pats him on the back. Good job, man. Good hit. And I'm like, whoa, this guy's psycho. What's wrong with this guy?
He just got planted.
My God. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, that was always fun, man. But like, but now one of the things that I remember way back in the day, one of the very first things is I would always talk about music, even way back then, was like, hey, Brent, who's your favorite band? And
and it was Journey at the time.
Yeah, it's Journey. Yeah. So we're talking like the 80s or
correct.
I guess it was the 80s.
That was crazy the first band I fell in love with. Yep. Journey.
Yeah. And you were always talking about like he's an insane singer, and I was like, yeah, he is an insane singer. He's like crazy. Yeah. So now, did you ever get to see Steve Perry or like Journey in concert or?
Yeah, actually. So how it started is I was home alone. I was like 7 or 8, and my mom had some records, and I pulled them out, and I automatically loved the album covers. Like you've got actually the one in the background there. It was the first one I found, and so I started listening to them, loved them. And my mom took me to see him. I believe it was 1983 in the Tacoma Dome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I did get to see them, get to see Steve Perry live, and
wow, that's
amazing. One of those memories that just stands out in my head.
Dude, that's so cool. So many people like are really jealous because, he didn't last long. I mean, it was 78 to 86. And then they had that stint of a comeback album, but really never.
Now they've got a different lead singer that sounds like Steve, but not, it's not Steve.
Yeah. They replaced him with that guy that looked and kind of sounded like, like it for a while.
It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the new guy, he sounds amazing, but it's just not the same, but he is amazing.
Yeah, he's really good. I guess they're all still pretty good friends because they were inducted not too long ago. And I know Steve Perry was there, and he was thanking all of them and giving a shout out to their new lead singer.
It's one of those things too, where like those old bands like that, like I always talk about how I saw Boston in like 97, and they had the same lead singer, right? They had Brad Delp. And Brad Delp, what I liked about him is he came out and he's all, hey, I have this guy who's going to help me with these high notes because I can't hit that shit anymore. And it's like that new lead singer of Journey, he probably at this point, it probably is better than Steve Perry, now. But like back then, it's like Steve Perry's like untouchable. He was that
no
insane.
Auto tune, none of that.
Yeah. So now, Brent, do you remember the time that? Now, just to
you're going to bring up the moment, huh? When you played it in the background, aren't you?
So bad. Okay. So you just broken up with your, I don't know, high school girlfriend or something. I can't remember what it was. And you're like, and it was literally like super fresh, right? And
it was within a month or two.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know why I was talking to you. I was like, you should call her. And you're like, I don't know.
Great idea, John.
And dude, this is like a horrible thing for me to do. Anyway, like you called her, you finally, all right, I'll give you a call. But remember this back in the day, this isn't cell phone days where like you're leaving the room or walking outside. You're not making that kind of phone call.
School.
You're right there.
Right.
And like I queue up that Open Arms song. And dude, if anybody knows that song, it's like, it's such a sappy, like kind of like, power ballad. So
Yeah.
You're talking to her, and I start playing that, and I was like, and you're like, you start like, I could tell it's like, oh, and I'm like, oh no, what did I do? Oh fuck, man. I was like, I need to get out of here. This is bad. Like, what am I doing? And I was like, I think I laughed. I was like, I can't sit here.
Not to mention it's a break up and get back together song, and I'm talking to.
It's so horrible. But yeah, that's something I always remember. Unfortunately, no, yeah, no. So but anyway, that was a funny story.
Oh, it is. It's hilarious. Yeah, of course.
But do you remember? There's a couple of stories where we had a couple jobs together. The first one was when Rick Koulas. Remember Rick Koulas? And he had us. He's like, hey, you guys looking for some work? We're like, actually, yeah, we are looking for some work. We're like we're right out of high school, and he's like, hey, I have this landscaping stuff that you guys can help me with, and I need help with it. So he gets like me, you, and Racage, right?
Yep.
And then I think later.
Later. Yeah, Lee came later. Yeah.
Yeah. But some of the things on that job were like just so stupid,
geez,
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're just fucking around the entire time. Like,
we're talking about, they must be watching us and thinking all this crap about us because we're down here doing all these things.
We're digging ditches and, doing plant tree removal and stuff like that. Just,
I remember pulling those rock bricks out of the ground.
Yeah.
And my hands just hurting afterwards from pulling all those like quartz rocks or whatever they were.
Just terrible. Yeah. But yeah, so we did that. Remember that one time, like, yeah, because we couldn't really see in that, like I think certain parts of the day we could see inside the house, but like it was like kind of like reflecting windows and stuff like that. And like at one time, like we're just bored. All we're doing is digging.
We're just telling stories. Yeah, making up stories about the people that live there. And I remember you called the son Wyatt from Weird Science. You're like, he looks like Wyatt from Weird Science, and we'd make up these stories, and you do his voice. And
he did look like Wyatt. He drove that little CRV.
Right. The little
CRX. What were those little cars? I can't remember what those were. But anyway,
a little Honda. Car.
Yeah. But then remember, like, there's one time we were like, I was doing the Adam Sandler thing, like with the.
Yes.
And then and I was like, I turned to you guys, and you guys are laughing, but you guys aren't laughing at me. You're laughing at them looking at me,
watching you. Yes.
And I was like, shit, they're fucking looking over here, aren't they? You're like, yeah. And the hot daughter, she's looking too. And I was like, that's great.
Right. I remember that. Great. Yeah. You were just showing her the moves, what she could be prepared for if she decided to take a chance on you.
Yeah. You know what we came across the other day? I came across these. Remember those old videos that we used to do with John?
Right, the wrestling and the
Yes.
I just remember the big bazoocifer and what was it? Brought to you by Old English 3000 or something like that.
And we are sponsored by Old English 800. Are you ready to see some wrestling action between the big bazoocifer and President Clinton? So if you are, let's get ready to rumble.
That one's actually posted somewhere on my pages. But I came across the one where we did when we dressed up like Bill Clinton, like doing weed and stuff. Right. And
yes.
I gotta post that. It was like, dude, that's funny. Like we're making fun of candidates. I think that was like 96 or something like that.
Oh yeah. Right after high school. Yeah.
And that was like, I love these people that are like super political now. And they're like, people did not make fun of politicians back in the day. And I'm like, bullshit, they didn't. You guys ever watch SNL and like every president gets made fun of. Every president. And we even
just was no TikTok or other social media to see all this stuff.
Exactly. But I have that, and I'm probably going to post that, coming up here.
Nice.
Probably next year. Now, remember when we were working at that one place up in Tacoma, we'd go to this
place. Yeah.
we carpooled together, right? Didn't we all carpool?
Yeah. John would usually drive us, and he had that old beast truck.
It's all lowered. It had like the tinted window. It was actually kind of a cool car.
It was. Yeah. I remember many mornings waking up still half asleep, sitting in the back of that thing. Didn't we break down on Highway 18 once going to work?
God.
That thing, do you remember that?
I don't know, but it sounds about right. Cars broke down a lot back in the day.
Yeah.
I hated cars back in the day. Like now it's like I think people take take for granted how good cars really are these days.
Oh, I know how dependable, and yeah,
they are like crazy dependable compared to like, well, I think that our era was like the tail end of getting cars right. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Because think of like the poor mechanics that their whole livelihood back in the day was like just constantly like working on cars. Just okay, well, I can schedule you in for a couple weeks from now, and like just we have cars we have lined up just everywhere, and like that industry might have taken a hit over the last
not to steal a story you may talk about later, but remember when you locked your keys in your car at UPS? And that guy Darren's like, well, I've got a truck, a Toyota truck or whatever. Let me try my key. Goes up and just unlocks your car. Yeah, they only made like 5 cores in that day. Yeah,
I'm like, what is this? And he goes, yeah, I've learned over the years that a lot of Toyota keys work the same. And I'm like, what the fuck? What?
Just walks up, unlocks your car. There you go.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this?
What is that? Yeah,
Darren,
that makes you feel great.
That was horrible. I was like, oh my god, maybe I need to get a different car. This is really bad. That was bad. That was my brown car, I think, right?
It was your brown Toyota. Yeah.
Oh man, that was crazy. Yeah. And that's another thing that we used to do. So we used to listen to on the way to the Tacoma job.
Yes. Yep.
Did we listen? You would always be like, because me and John, we're like into the, we were all into like the 70s like music at that point. Like, we were like the McCartney and ELO and all that stuff, and you're like, well, Brent's just like, hey, look, I'll listen to whatever. I don't give a shit. Like, Brent's like listening to weird ELO songs and shit. He's like, what's going on?
A lot of what was big with you guys then was George Harrison had the Dark Horse or something like that.
Yeah, John loved that fucking album. Yeah,
he loved it. Yeah,
the Dark Horse album. Yeah, that actually reminds me of that era. I don't know how long we worked up in that place, but like maybe 3 weeks to a couple of weeks. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a month or so at most. Yeah. I just remember you would always make fun of Rick. You would take a squeege.
I always thought that I'm like, Rick knows a lot about this wood chipper over here. It's kind of like giving me some Fargo vibes over here. Rick is
right.
A little shady over here.
Weird dude. I mean, nice enough, but
yeah. So, all right. We got to get into it. All right. So a story that I'm not proud of, but it happened. So basically from there, I don't know, when did you start at UPS? Because that's exactly when I started at UPS. We
started, to be honest, I know the exact day. It was July 3rd, 1996.
Okay. So it's July. Okay. It's even earlier than I thought.
July 3rd. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I remember like going to orientation with you and everything. And we got
Seattle. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No, are you still in the same location?
No, I've been in many locations. Right now I'm at Boeing Field, which is the airport for UPS.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now we got hired on as loaders or unloaders, kind of like the slash.
Right. Warehouse workers. Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize it was July. Wow. That's crazy.
July 3rd.
Wow.
Ominous day, because I remember our first day the power went out in the building. I don't know if you remember that.
But that was like one of my first jobs where I was really working with a lot of different types of people. I mean, you had people from fresh from the Iraq War. It was people from prison. I was like, oh, this is a very diverse group of people here. This is an interesting place. So we were unloaders and loaders. Now, Brent, can you explain like what those jobs are to people that might not know?
I remembered when we started, you were an unloader. So what you would take and do is unload trailers full of volume that we'd pick up from other places, different businesses. And then I was a loader. So I'd actually load outbound trailers going to like Colorado to Portland, places like that. So we take all the volume that's going to that specific area and load it up. And we didn't scan anything back then. There was no tracking. Obviously, it was before internet was big. So
they started doing it right at the tail end of when I left.
Right when you,
Yeah. So, all right. So yeah, I was an unloader. I think I loaded, like I helped load like twice.
On occasion, but mostly, you're from the front end, just unloading trailers, unloading package cars.
Yeah. So, which now I hate this story, but like, look, I have to talk about it. It's like one of our the stories that's like, you for years you were like, oh, dude, you're a legend, and I go, yeah, but no, it's not a legendary story. It's a horrible story. Like, it's not a good story. So basically, what happened was there was I don't know, maybe like a month before this, I sent in, we had to like write in like requests for like a day off.
Right.
Now, up to this point, I had never taken a day off. I've never called in sick. We always would get there early. Like everything was like, I was like your perfect model employee. Like, about a week out, I was like, hey, I don't see my name like on the list here. Am I going to be okay? The reason why I wanted this off is because it was my 21st birthday. So so this is like in February. I'd already been there a long time.
Yeah. We've been there, 7-8 months.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, it shouldn't be a problem. Like, it shouldn't be a problem at all. So
no, and it's February, so it's not a busy time, anything like that.
Yeah, not December, November. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so I about 3 days before, and I'm like, okay, all right, guys, am I going to be able to get this off? And he was like, sorry, we're not going to be able to request that. We're not going to be able to grant you that day off. And I was like, oh God, I was so pissed. And I was like, all right, so that right there, I'm already angry, right? I'm already angry. So I get in there, and is that Tim guy still there? Is that my buddy Tim?
I don't think Tim is still there, but Jay is still there.
Oh my God, Jay, the terminal manager guy?
Yeah. He's actually getting ready to retire. He's a driver.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, am I thinking of the same guy?
Everything. Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Yep. No way. Anyway, he was like really nice to me, but
yeah, he was a nice guy. Yep.
But actually, Tim wasn't bad either. He was just.
He was Tim. Yeah.
So anyway.
Oh, I got
what happened? I get there. I'm just trying to lay this out just to, I don't know, kind of like paint a picture. But anyway, so I get to work, and I was a loader, or I'm sorry, I was an unloader. So, just loading up all these packages. They go onto these conveyor belts.
Onto a belt and it goes up. Yep.
And they're like, I don't know if they're short or something like that, but Tim guy's like, hey, we need you over to load. And I was like, I'm not a loader. He goes, we need you over there. And I was like, all right, I've done it like once. So I'm like, and so loading, Brent, that's kind of like a technique. That's kind of like something you learn over a little while. Like it's like kind of like playing Tetris.
Right.
Like you got to be like, I'm sorry, Tetris in the later levels. Like,
right. Yeah. It's coming fast and you're sweating and you're in the back of a dark trailer and it's dusty.
You have to piece these like walls together perfectly and make sure that, stuff's not being crushed and everything. And I'm like, I mean, I'll give it a shot. But I don't know how to do this very well. And like a lot of times, wasn't there like two loaders? Like, or is it one loader?
Yes,
I don't know how.
Yeah, usually you'd have one person picking off the belt. So they would pick all the stuff that goes for the destination into the trailer, put it on rollers, and you'd have one or two loaders, depending on the truck that you end up loading that day. Was one we normally would have two in because it was Colorado. It was a 53-foot trailer. Yeah.
You were like, I mean, the details. Yeah. So like, I just remember, so basically I'm like, all right, well, here I am. And then I'm sitting there trying to like piece these things together. But, because I remember looking down at you. You're out of the truck. You were to my left. Yep. Yeah. Yep. And then there was someone to my right, but like you were to my left, and your face is like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what to do here. But the other guy, I don't know who that was. I don't know who the other guy was. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, that guy and Tim were yelling at me that you need more room. And I was like, all right, I can't go this fast. And boxes are like, they're coming. They're starting to fall off. And I was like, all right, well, they're like, we need more room, hurry up. And I was like, and that's where I lost my shit. I was like, all right, start pushing boxes off and shit. And then I was like, and that's the part I don't like, because I ship stuff now and it's horrible. And I hated that. But the part that really made me lose my shit is when I was like, all right, so I have some boxes down there. I have a little bit of space, and I tried to put a box up, and someone pushed all the boxes into my back, the back of my leg, into my calf. And I almost fell backwards, but not only backwards onto the conveyor belt, I almost fell to the ground, which is, I don't know how many feet.
4 or 5 feet drop. Yeah.
And I was like, that's it. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I can't, I'm not risking my health for this job. This isn't worth it. This job is not worth it to me. They've already screwed me over on my birthday. I don't need this shit. So I just remember getting out. I undo that wrist thing that they had on me.
Oh, the scanner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I was like, and they're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then I'm like, Tim, am I going back to unload? And he goes, no, you get back in the trailer. And I go, sorry, I'm not going back. He goes, what do you mean you're not getting back? And I go, and I remember taking the thing and I just pushed it right into his chest. And I go, fuck you, I'm out of here. So then I left. And then that Jay guy, he like chased me across the street. He's like, hey, Josh. and this is why I know he was like I'm sure he gets it, dude. Like it's not the greatest job in the world. Like, fucking unloaders and loaders, like, come on. So like, he was like, hey man, I'm sorry. He's like, you can't fucking do this shit to me. You can't like treat me like shit on my birthday, on a birthday that I asked like a month before off. You guys can't do this. I'm fucking out of here. And he goes, listen, go have a great birthday. He fucking said this. Go have a nice birthday and then come back tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. After all the shit I just did, I don't know if I'm coming back to that. So like, yeah. So that's how my career ended. And by the way, you were talking about this earlier before we even came on. At that point in time, those loaders and unloaders, we made $8 an hour.
Right.
And then on top of that,
wage at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was better. It was a little bit better then because it was like what, it was 6 something for minimum wage or something.
Yeah. $5.95 or something.
Whatever.
Yes.
But yeah, so it was a couple dollars more. But yeah, so it was $8 an hour. We worked like 4.5 hours a night or something, like, because it was a part-time gig or whatever, which is good for college or whatever.
Right.
But then we were paying $25 a week into the union. And I was like, okay, like we're paying like that much money into the union. We're not even making that much money. And I was like, this is horrible. And I know that you're a union guy, so I'm not going to like,
I'm not a union guy. Actually, I'm the management.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, there you go. Yeah. No. So I was like, fuck that, man. Like I was like, I don't need this. So anyway, I went from there to working like the lowest stress job like ever at the parks, which is driving around, checking empty like garbage cans. I was like, oh, this is so great. No, but anyway.
Yeah.
But right after that, you became like a supervisor, right?
Right. So, I continued on. Actually, we were on strike in 97. I was still an hourly loading trailers and stuff then. And then shortly after I became a supervisor. Yeah.
You've been there ever since.
Correct.
Right? That is wild. That is like, how many people can say that? Like, are there a lot of these people are still there, right? Like Woody started like a week after us.
Yeah, Woody's still there. Trying to think of who else. I don't know. Did you know? Well, it's Casey Sussner at the time. Now Casey Gallagher.
Yeah. Yep.
High school with us. She's still there.
That's wild.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Now, who else was there? Was there?
You remember Chris Linehan? We called him Crack Baby. Blonde hair. He was there then. Maybe. He's still there now. Yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
Sad story. Because I don't think you were there when it happened. Do you remember Derek? He worked in the front end and he was like, I would go, yeah. And he'd scream all the time in the front end.
I don't know.
Real nice guy, real loud guy in the front end.
No, what happened?
He about a year after you left, a year or so, his girlfriend had left him for his best friend and he went into a graveyard and shot himself during Christmas. Yeah.
Oh.
I know back then you knew who he was. We talked about him. He was a super nice guy, would always come talk to us, but yeah.
Yikes, dude. That's terrible. God.
Sad story. I think about him every Christmas time.
Jeez. Just want to like take those people and shake them, but you can't.
Right.
But
what do you do? Yeah.
Like, hey man, like there's way more chicks in this world than guys. Right. It's going to be all right, man. But they're just not right in that right state at that time. So, and I've had a lot of friends do the same thing, by the way. It's terrible. So the reason why I bring this up is all the UPS stuff is because of the new wages that they're proposing, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, I hear a lot of people saying like, well, I'm going to get a job there. Sounds awesome. I'm like, yeah, no, they pay good, but it's also like these guys bust their ass, dude.
Oh yeah. It's a hard job. Yeah.
These guys bust their ass. And I remember talking about this with Woody and he's like, dude, he goes, It's the benefits are good. It's a good gig, but dude, I work my ass off, man. Like,
Oh yeah.
you have to work until you're done with those packages, and
Right.
sometimes it takes a while to deliver those packages.
Oh yeah. The average driver works 9.5, 10 hours a day.
You know,
5 days a
people
week,
and these
sometimes
people
6.
at businesses, they just see the guy that, the happy guy that comes up with the shorts and the brown clothes, and he's like, hey, they're like, yeah, okay, that guy, he shows up like that, but he's also busting his ass.
Oh,
Lifting all
yes.
those packages and transporting all those, shipments and driving around all day, every day. So,
Right.
yeah, I respect that company, and I've worked for, UPS, FedEx, YRC, Roadway. I have transportation, in my
Sure.
blood, unfortunately.
Eating all the ins
Yeah.
and outs, and yeah.
Yeah, it was funny because I didn't realize up until about 10, 15 years ago, but I didn't realize that UPS started in Seattle.
Yeah, yep. Right in Pioneer Square, just off of First Street. Yeah, they have it's called Waterfall Garden, actually. It's like a monument to UPS. They're
Wow.
still- yep, 1907.
That is crazy, man. Have you been there?
Yes, I've been there. It's very
That's
cool.
crazy.
Yeah, they have stuff about Jim Casey, who's our founder.
Wow.
UPS, they started out delivering letters on bicycles and motorcycles, and
That's crazy.
there. Yep.
That's crazy. Now, is UPS, are they the biggest company, like shipping company in the world? I mean,
Yeah. Yep.
they are, like, worldwide.
Mhm. Yes, definitely.
Shipping on your schedule. What can Brown do for you?
That story you told about your career.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
It's all good, man. We've all had those days.
Yeah. No. So yeah, like for years.
I've
so,
had
like,
those days, but I've had to just walk away and just come back another day. I mean,
yeah. I mean, God, man, we were 21 years old, man. Like I was
Right.
like,
right.
I even hated back then that I was like, that I was like, yeah, you need some room here. How about now? I'm blowing the shit off. And like, I do remember looking down at you, and you're just looking back at me like,
I've just felt so bad for you.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
like,
I just,
you're like, I don't know what to
knew
do.
you were going through, and I'm just like, how can I make this better? And
I remember you were like trying to set some on the side. You're like, I don't know where to
Right.
put these. Like,
yeah, I'll stack them on the ground for you. I don't,
like you're like, I can only help so much. I have to pull these off the conveyor belt here. I'm sorry.
they're coming at me pretty fast. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So like everybody, it's a machine. It's a well-oiled machine. Everybody has to do their job, or it's not going to work. The problem is you put someone that doesn't know what they're doing into a truck by themselves, and that's not good. I didn't know
No.
where to go from there. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm already halfway to quitting as it is, walking in here today,
Sure.
on my birthday. So
Right.
I just need a couple of, little encouragements
Small
here.
push. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So now, Brent, this next segment is kind of like a speed round
Okay.
of random questions. I think you may have seen me do this with a couple.
Yeah.
of
Yeah. I think so. Yep.
so. So now it's your turn, buddy. Now it's your turn. So
Okay.
all right. Okay. I like the Journey shirt, by the way. I love the Journey shirt.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, it's good stuff. All right. Now, Brent, what is the most memorable vacation that you've ever been on?
Most memorable vacation. Oh, geez. I've been on some good ones lately. Let's see. We went to the big island of Hawaii 2 years ago. That was pretty memorable. Got to see a lot of interesting things. Went to a black sand beach. Got to see lots of waterfalls and just see parts of Hawaii that aren't populated like Honolulu are, and drive around. And that was pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
I'd say that's pretty memorable for me.
That's great.
We went to this place called Two Steps. In fact, it's like a great snorkeling place. And I remember just hopping off this little ledge that goes into like 12-foot deep water and seeing more fish than I could count, right? Rocks that look like flowers because there's just fish attached to it everywhere, or flowing back and forth, kind of like the picture behind me. Yeah, that would probably be my most memorable vacation.
Oh, that's amazing. I feel bad for Hawaii right now. And
yeah, that's crazy, right?
that's just wild. And it's funny because we had lunch right there, right in the
Oh,
middle.
really? At that
Yeah.
spot? Wow.
Yeah, because we were at that famous tree that they keep talking about.
The big banyan tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
so
I
sad.
think we have pictures everybody takes pictures of that because it's a
Of course.
massively famous
Yeah.
tree. But
Right.
hopefully that thing survives because there's a lot of people that have. I think the death count right now is like in the 90s. So
Wow. That's so sad in this day and age. Yeah.
All right. So Brent, what is the best action movie of all time?
Best action movie of all time. Well, I'm tempted to say Iron Eagle since it's behind you, but I couldn't not laugh while I said that. So, oh geez. I would say probably Predator.
Ooh, it's a good choice.
One of my favorite action movies of all time. A lot of drama and like great lines and great action and great story. And yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. You remember listening to Iron Eagle on the way to UPS?
Oh yeah. Yeah. The Chappie Cape. And I loved it. You're going to be pretty scared right now. You got to stay calm.
A bunch of things must have gone wrong if you're listening to this. Whatever happened, I know you must be real scared. I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to head for home.
That chokes me up just hearing this.
Okay, Brent, what is your favorite fast food joint?
Favorite fast food joint? Oh, geez. I'm going to say, and to be honest, I haven't eaten fast food in like 3-4 months. I'm trying to be good, but yeah, I would say Wendy's.
Wendy's,
I
okay.
really like Wendy's. It's kind of a classic for me. My grandparents used to take me there when I was a kid, and I would love the Frosties and good solid burgers.
There's a Wendy's nearby. Now you're talking.
Everything on Wendy's Super Value menu is 99 cents each. Freshly made salads, hamburgers hot off the grill, chili, delicious food you can only get here. Plus, for $1.99, get a hamburger kids meal.
Happy birthday! Look, we're twins. Great.
Wendy's, you don't pay more, you just get more.
Right on, right on. Okay, how about what's your least favorite fast food?
Least favorite fast food? That's tough. It's a necessary evil, but I'm going to say McDonald's probably.
I never feel great after eating.
But yeah.
McDonald's is one of those places that's it's engineered to taste really good, but it never ends well. It always
you just feel kind of wrong after eating it, right?
Yes, I always feel bad.
That's
horrible. Yeah, yeah. All right, what is the greatest sporting event that you've ever attended?
Oh, this is an easy one. I was actually at the Beastquake game.
Oh, nice.
That was epic. That's one of those moments that you always remember. I mean, it didn't matter who you were sitting next to, if you knew them or not. Everybody's hugging and talking, and it was like a community, like it was a old school high school sporting event, because we happened to ride the train too. It was my brother-in-law and I that went, and on the train ride back, everybody's telling their stories of what they saw. Oh, did you see when he did this? And
yeah, it was awesome, man. That was everyone just jumping. It was crazy.
Right. It was crazy. I mean, we registered on the Richter scale. How epic it was. Yeah.
I heard Taylor Swift just broke that record, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I heard Taylor Swift just broke the record for.
Oh, yeah. She was just here. Yeah. That was nuts. Yeah. I don't dislike Taylor Swift, but I don't get it. It's not, but again, I'm not a teenage girl.
Yeah. You're.
I'm not meant to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. What is the last movie that you saw in the theater?
Oh, geez. It's been a long time. Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Okay.
Sadly as that is. Yeah. Well, you know what? I saw the last Avengers movie.
Okay. When was that? When did that come out?
6-7 years ago.
Oh,
5-6 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. I saw Top Gun. That was the last one I saw.
Did you? Yeah. I watched it at home. Yeah.
Last year? Yeah, I think it was last year, right? Anyway.
What? Yeah, it was last year.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
We did a big birthday bash for one of our friends, Jeremy's 50th birthday, and they took him to see that movie. That's how they distracted him while we set up his party. So
that's awesome. That is awesome. I love it. All right. So, okay. Brent, what is your favorite go-to appetizer at the bar or restaurant?
The bar. For me, it's going to be buffalo wings.
Boom. Buffalo wings.
Love spicy, love buffalo wings. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. And Brent, is Michael Jordan the greatest basketball player of all time?
I'm going to say yes, just because of how competitive he was and how much, winning meant to him, and and the championships and If I think of it this way, if you had one game to win and you could pick any player, how could you not pick Michael Jordan to win that game?
Yeah, you got a point. Rich Falls is going to love that answer. He's going to love that answer. That Brent guy, he knows his shit. He's fantastic. Okay.
Yeah. Not my favorite player, but if I'm going to win a game, that's the guy.
Dude, he was like one of our biggest rivals. Like he was one of those guys that I think a Jordan or LeBron is great for the league because you either love them because you're a fan or you love to hate them, like to root against them, right? So
exactly.
All right, Brent, what is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve. I hate repeating myself.
Repeating yourself?
Yeah, like if I'm teaching somebody something and they don't understand and I have to keep telling them the same thing because I'm a supervisor at what I do, and I tell somebody and they go, yeah, I understand, and then they keep doing the same thing, and I'm just
people that don't listen.
Yeah, they don't listen. They don't get. I'm like, I'm trying to help you here. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to be a jerk boss. You've known me a long time. That's not who I am. But
right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I've been asked to be a supervisor so many times. I respect supervisors for all the shit they have to put up with, and that's why I don't want to be a supervisor.
Yeah, I don't blame you. If I could go back, sometimes I would definitely. I should just do my own thing and worry about me and everybody else.
Yeah. Okay, so Brent, what is your favorite cartoon of all time?
Oh, geez, that's a good question. Favorite cartoon? Let's see. I grew up watching. I would say, and this is going to sound bad for me, the Smurfs. I used to watch Smurfs with my grandpa when I was little. So
nice.
Big one for me. Yeah.
You like Gargamel?
Yeah, I did. I liked Azrael.
Oh, Azrael.
The cat. Yeah, I love the cat. I'm an animal person. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you said you have your animal sitting right next to you, right?
Yeah. I got 2 labs sitting underneath me here at my feet.
Whoa, you got 2 lab? What kind of lab? What color?
I got a black lab and a chocolate lab.
Nice. How old are they?
2 girls. They are 3 and 6 approximately. Yeah.
Nice. Good dogs. Good. Yeah, it fits your personality. Like nice, happy dogs. I like that.
Yep. Nice, happy dogs. They love to go out and adventure, love to play in the water, and
Awesome. Brent, you walk into a gas station and you grab a snack for the road. What do you grab?
I am gonna grab probably beef jerky.
Ooh. Nice. Yep. So you're like,
gotta have that taste.
Need to get some protein.
Never do it, Slim Jim.
All right. What is your favorite superhero movie of all time?
Favorite super?
I know there's only been 4,000 of them in the last, 15
I know. This is easy, and I've got some info on it too. Is The Dark Knight actually?
Okay.
And it's not actually for Batman; it's for the Joker. And I have I was given for Christmas a couple of years ago. My wife won a silent auction, and I have an autographed picture of Heath Ledger and Christian Bale as Batman and Joker hanging upstairs in my bedroom. So
that's cool, man.
All-time favorite superhero movie. Yeah.
God, he was like crazy in that movie, man.
Oh yeah,
that was wild.
Yeah.
I remember sitting with Ryan in that theater when it came out, and if anybody knows anything about Ryan Dunham, it's that he knows nothing about pop culture. Now, other stuff he knows a lot of things about. Pop culture, 0.0. And he goes, man, who's this guy playing Joker? He's like really good. And I'm like, I slowly stared at him. Like that was like the big thing when that movie came out. It was like Heath Ledger died right after this movie was filmed. Right. It was like crazy. It was like there's the biggest hype ever. And like Ryan's like, man, who is this guy? He's like really good. And I was like,
he's got a future.
What is wrong with him? All right. Okay, now, a couple more here.
Sure.
Brent, does pineapple belong on pizza?
No. Oh, hard no for me. I picked it off.
The fastest answer ever, Brent. It was the fastest answer ever. Okay. This one's right up your alley, buddy. This one's right up your alley. Favorite video game of all time?
Favorite video game of all time? Well, I'm going to have to go old school, and I'm probably going to have to go Nintendo. Of course, Super Tecmo Bowl, being a football fan, is one of my favorites. Another one is ActRaiser for Super Nintendo. Those are probably 2 of my favorites of all time.
What's your favorite video game of the last 10 years?
Last 10 years, actually, there's one out called Elden Ring that's really good. And it's very old school where it doesn't tell you, okay, you just need to go here, here, and here. You kind of got to figure it out. Like, okay, you die, you die. Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah. It's crazy watching video games now. Like I
know.
Some people will post like video game clips and I think they're real, like actual, it looks either like a movie and I'm like, whoa, this is not those 8-bit little.
No, you watch Madden nowadays and you're like, is this a real game? You have to like stop and squint and look at it. You're like, oh, okay, no, that's a video game.
It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. And then the last question that I have listed on here is, what is your favorite all-time cereal?
Favorite all-time cereal? I like peanut butter crunch, like the ones that's like the Reese's peanut butter crunch is probably one of my favorites. And then I'm going to sound weird, but I like Wheat Chex actually is one of my favorites all time.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Really
Isn't
like
that one of the main ingredients in the rice or like what the Chex Mix?
Yes, the Chex Mix. Yep. Yeah.
Rice, corn, wheat. Rice, corn, wheat, right? Rice, corn, wheat. Yeah.
Right.
You know what's funny is like when you make that mix, or if you have that mix or whatever, those are always the best ones. I don't know if they like soak it up the best.
They just go well with a lot of different flavors, and they just soak up the flavor really well. So that's why I like them. Yeah.
I don't think I'll talk to anybody else ever with these questions, and someone will have that answer. So congratulations.
Right? I'm weird that way. Vanilla ice cream is also my favorite because it goes with so many different things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You can eat that with anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Fruit or chocolate, or it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Man, making me hungry. Making me hungry over there, Brent. All right, Brent, is there anything else that you could think of that you want to bring up that we haven't really spoken about? We're going to have to do this again. We're going to have to do this again. This is not the last time I'm going to see you.
Okay. Of course not. I hope not.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Definitely not. I'm going to actually, we're going to have a Seahawks episode here coming up shortly, and we're going to have you back for that. Hopefully you're going to agree to do that because it'll be fun. Yeah.
Always talk some Seahawks.
Yeah. Awesome, man. All right, well, Brent, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate you coming on here and chatting up and shooting the shit about some good old days, even though some of it was not good on my end because I was looking like a jerk for half this episode, but it's always fun.
Hey, Josh, I forgive you. Now you got to forgive you.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to start making some phone calls.
Yep.
Start making some phone calls to everybody and let them know I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay. And UPS, still a great company, even without me. I don't know how they survived, Brent. I don't know how they did.
I don't know. That's probably why the strike happened. It was like bring Matlock back. Right?
Oh, awesome, Brent. Okay, for Brent Kipling, I'm Josh. And as always, thank you for being a friend.